You are watching Access LaPorte County Channel 97. Coming up next is the February 3rd meeting for the Michigan City Common Council. You can find more information for this meeting by visiting www.accesslaportecounty.org.
Good evening and welcome to the Michigan City Common Council meeting. Today is Tuesday, February 3rd, 2026. The time now is 6:30 p.m. I would ask if you would all please silence all of your electronic devices and please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance and prayer.
To stand one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, on the roll call, please.
Mr. Beatrice?
Present.
Mr. Coulter?
Present.
Mr. Dabney?
Present.
Dr. Cora?
Present.
Ms. Lee? Present. Ms. Moldenar?
Present.
Mr. Nelson?
Present.
Mr. Przybylski?
Present.
And Ms. Shulman?
Present.
We have 9 present and no one absent.
We have approval of minutes, our regular council hybrid Zoom, January 20, 2026. Did the council have an opportunity to review the minutes, and are there any corrections or changes needed?
Motion to approve. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Madam Clerk, on the vote, please.
Mr. Nelson?
Aye.
Mr. Przybylski?
Aye.
Ms. Shulman?
Aye.
Mr. Beatrice? Mr. Coulter?
Aye.
Mr. Dabney?
Aye.
Dr. Cora?
Aye.
Ms. Lee? Aye. And Ms. Moldenar?
Aye.
We have 9 in favor and no one opposed.
And the approval of the minutes for the regular council hybrid Zoom, January 20, 2026 has been approved. Next, we have reports of standing committees. Are there any reports of standing committees, Councilman Przybylski?
No.
Are there any reports of standing committees? There are none. Finance Committee meeting. Councilman Dabney, please.
Yes. All right. And tonight's February 3rd, 2026 Finance Committee meeting. The Finance Committee meeting was called to order by Chairman Bryant Dabney at 6:01 p.m. To review and approve claims since the last meeting. Committee members, Councilman Dr. Cora, Councilman Beatrice, and City Controller Marilyn Wall were all present. Claims reviewed totaled $14,107.86 from the Riverboat Fund, $0 from the Boyd Development Fund, and $3,950 from the Rainy Day Fund, for a total claim docket of $18,057.86. There were no other discussions, but there was a correction to my report, and that I had one of the numbers incorrect. That was corrected by Dr. Cora, and so we made the adjustment to the minutes that I am reporting right now. So that was the only thing that was discussed during the meeting. And then at the end of the meeting here, Councilman Beatrice, he moved to recommend approval of the docket with a second from Councilman Dr. Cora. And that was approved unanimously. The docket was approved unanimously. And then public comments, or no public comments rather. And finally, on a motion from Councilman Beatrice and a second by Councilman Cora, the meeting was adjourned at 6:07 p.m. In detail, what we paid with this docket from our Riverboat Fund, we had LaPorte Chrysler Inc. for $14,107.86. And that was for monthly city vehicle leases. And then once again from the Boyd Development Fund, $0. From the Rainy Day Fund, we had Schneider Geomatics Engineering Consulting Services. in the amount of $3,950. Once again, for a total claim docket of $18,057.86. As the meeting moved on, we then went to announce the Riverboat and Rainy Day Fund statement of cash position. From the Riverboat Fund, we have $3,970,099.90. From the Rainy Day Fund, $1,321,810.42, for a total of $5,291,910.32. And that concludes my finance report.
And may I entertain a motion to approve
So
the
moved.
claims docket?
Support.
We have a motion and a second. Madam Clerk, on the vote, please.
Mr. Presebalinski.
Aye.
Ms. Tillman.
Aye.
Mr. Beatrice.
Aye.
Mr. Coulter.
Aye.
Mr. Dabney.
Aye.
Dr. Cora.
Aye.
Ms. Lee. Aye. Ms. Moldenauer.
Aye.
And Mr. Nelson.
Aye.
We have 9 in favor and no one opposed.
And the claims docket for February 3rd, 2026, total claims of $18,057.86 has been approved and passed. Next, we have reports from boards and commissions. We have Ms. Shannon Easton with the Michigan City Art Committee providing her 2025 annual report.
Esteemed council members, it is a great pleasure to come before you to report on the activities of the Michigan City Public Art Committee that was established by the Michigan City Common Council in 2011. Why do we have public art? Art in public places humanizes cities, making them more beautiful, meaningful, healthy, and connected. I think some people think of public art like interior decorating, where we're putting pretty things around just to make things look nice, like where you put a painting on the wall. But in fact, there are plenty of studies that show that public art builds community, creates identity for our community, and public pride. It preserves and tells local history, as we can see in some of our very specific sculptures. It tells our cultural stories. It, of course, supports tourism, and it supports our local economy, helping economic growth. It revitalizes underused and neglected spaces and neighborhoods. It improves mental health and well-being, and it does reduce stress. It makes art accessible to everyone, free of charge. It inspires creativity and civic engagement, and encourages dialogue like that we're having tonight, and shared experiences. I'd like to introduce my fellow, first of all, introduce myself. First of all, the Public Art Committee was created with very specific membership, requiring that we have members from Lebesnick Center for the Arts, from the Michigan City Public Library, from other institutions. In particular, the position that I hold, it requires that there be an architect or engineer as a member of the Public Art Committee, and I hold the architect position. My name is Matthew Kubik. I'm a professor emeritus at Purdue University, where I taught architecture and urban design in Fort Wayne. So, our other members that we have here, we have Dale Cooper, who represents the LaPorte County Convention and Visitors Bureau. We have Janet Block, who's our vice chair and member of Lebesnick Center for the, not just a member of the Lebesnick Center of the Arts, director of the Lubeznik Center. Of course, you all know Shannon Eason, and we have Kathy Dennis, who is a member at large, and our council representative, Don Presbolinski, who represents the council extremely well on our committee. I turn this over to Shannon.
Oh,
Hi, on behalf of the committee, I just want to extend our heartfelt gratitude to Robin Cohn, who served on the library position since the inception of the art committee in 2011. She was also the chair from 2016 until she retired in May of 2025. So I just want to say thank you to Robin for her leadership. Her replacement, Catherine Michelin, has been fantastic. But thank you, Robin, for your service to the Public Art Committee in Michigan City.
Thank you. I'm Janet Block, Director of Lubeznik Center for the Arts, and I've also served on the committee since 2011. This year we gave scholarships, 11 scholarships to students through the funds that we had through the Public Art Committee. Lubeznik Center, actually, I just want to say this because we gave out about 3 times that many scholarships that we provide regardless of who asks. You can live in LaPorte, you can live outside the city limits, but I just want to say that we are only limited by the budget that we have because people ask for these scholarships constantly. So it helps us. And right now we are the only art provider for classes and so forth. And we would welcome many others to apply for scholarships to other, if other people were giving lessons. But it's so I'm proud that we do that. And we meet great people through the scholarship program.
Good evening, I'm Kathy Dennis. I've been on the art committee for I don't know how many years, but it's been quite a few. I believe that in addition to the scholarships, the sculptures that you see as you drive around town, we're also, one of our goals is to put in some more murals, and we've done several of them this year. I would love to be able to do more. Right now, they need to be on public walls. So at some point, maybe we want to think about being able to use some other walls to do things that would really show Michigan City to our visitors. The other thing we're looking at is doing some larger sculptures that will really pick up people's eyes as they come into the community. Thank you.
One of the biggest reasons that people travel is to see art. I believe it's number 4 in the country. They drive 50 miles or more just to see art. And when people want to visit or move to a different place, they choose places that are beautiful. One other thing I want to talk about is Sculpt Fusion. Sculpt Fusion is a rotating exhibit of public art that's around in Michigan City. We do the sculptures and we also do the murals, as Kathy said. So if you take a look around at the different sculptures, there's a thing called AutoCast. You can actually download it on your phone. You can walk up to the sculpture and it starts to talk to you through your phone about what that sculpture is and who made that sculpture. So that's a really wonderful thing to do here in our city.
So everyone here that knows me knows I'm a numbers person. So I just want to say this year, we did display 13 different sculptures valued at over $300,000 just in the Sculpt Fusion program alone. We have 5 new sculptures. Next slide, please. There's 3 of them. Next slide. There's the other two. Those are the 5 new ones that we put in this year. Some of those were put out into our neighborhoods, which is one of our strong goals last year and this year. Next slide, please. We did have a celebration to celebrate our new art at Vita del Lago. So there's a photo of that. That was a great celebration. Next slide, please. In addition to our revolving Sculpt Fusion that's constantly moving and changing, we also have 31 permanent pieces in our collection valued at over or almost $1 million. I would like to point out that this year we did move Owl and Pussycat from Westcott Park, where we didn't think it was a very visible location unless you were walking. So that's now on the corner of 9th and Franklin Street, right in the middle of the Uptown Arts District. It's highly visible. It's been repainted, and I think it looks amazing. Next slide, please. So this is just kind of a collage of all the different kinds of art that we have around the city. It varies from, again, sculptures to murals. It's being spread out from the Uptown Arts Corridor out into our neighborhoods, which I think is very important. The mayor's been very supportive of that, helping us out with some purchases through ARPA funding, which you guys approved, so thank you very much. Next slide, please. Other works in our permanent collection, the photos in the chambers. We have the Trail Creek photo op board. That's my grandson when he was super cute. Now he's 14. He would be mortified if he saw that. And then upstairs, Painted Lakeshore, which is upstairs in City Hall. Next slide, please. Neighborhood art.
When the committee was formed, the initial focus of the committee was to support the Uptown Arts District. Since that time, we've expanded the concept to include art all over Michigan City to help our neighborhoods establish neighborhood identity through public art. So we have instituted a program where we are developing art projects in the various parks around Michigan City. You can see some of the images here. And then this last year in particular was an art addition to the skate park, which was to enhance those ramps with designated artwork. And that's going to be a continuing aspect of our Michigan City art program, is to expand art literally throughout the city in as many of the neighborhoods as we can. Want to do Westcott Park?
No, not Westcott, ribbon cutting, right?
Ribbon cutting? Oh yeah, ribbon cutting. Go ahead, do the ribbon cutting.
Go ahead. Okay, I'm sorry because I wasn't there that day, and I know that Dale did a lot to support that effort, but I was doing something in Walker Street Park, and we had a beautiful ribbon cutting. We gathered many donations from Renaissance 501c3 that I run. Yes, Dale runs. See, she needs to. We got a big donation from Renaissance, which enabled us to also go get food, go get other kinds of prizes. The neighborhood came out. I don't know how many were there. Do you? Quite full. Yeah, because they're rainy. Yeah. I know a lot about almost everything else on the screen except for this. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Shannon.
So the ribbon cutting was held on September 13th. It rained, solid rain for 2 hours while we set up. We thought it was going to be a disaster, but thanks to Dale and Renaissance and their very large donation, also Carol Ann Brown, who put this whole thing together. We had raffles for free skateboards, scooters, free food. We had Driftwood Collective here giving the kids lessons. as soon as the event opened at 11, I couldn't believe how many volunteers ran out with squeegees to dry off the ramps. They turned the music up, and it was an amazing time. So Dale, Carol Ann, this was like your event, and congratulations. And again, it was for a neighborhood, and the neighborhood turned out, and you could see how happy the kids are. They all went home with cool stuff, cool merch. So thank you.
I'm sorry, I forgot. Wanted to tell you a short story. I was recently elected to the board of directors of Citizens Concerned for the Homeless. And I was in one of their 4 programs, Keys for Hope, that you probably see if you go down Franklin Street. There were quite a few homeless men and women in there, and somebody introduced me and said I was on the art commission. And one of the homeless men said, are you guys doing all those sculptures all over the city? And I said, yes. He said, I just love them. They make me feel good every day. So I thought that was a really nice thing, that it's not only people who drive Lincolns and Cadillacs that think that the sculpture is good, but here was somebody who's homeless and the artwork made him feel better. So thank you very much.
Yeah. You're up, dear.
Okay, so the Naomi Anderson sculptures, if you've seen it, the Naomi Anderson project was started by Nancy Mollenauer. She asked me to be on that committee, which we worked for about 2 years through Zoom, like once a week. During COVID, yeah, worked on that. And we were able to write a grant, and we got, I believe, $40,000, which was given to, which had to be accepted by a Main Street organization. And then we chose an artist, Bernard Williams, who created an amazing sculpture, which is now at the park. And it's also on Sculpt Fusion, so you can go there and listen to it. And if you haven't had a chance to get by there and look at that sculpture, it is absolutely amazing. It's about Naomi Anderson, which was a Black woman who was born here in Michigan City in the mid-1800s. She was born free. She was absolutely brilliant, and by the age of like 9, she was writing poetry. She also wrote newspaper articles. She wanted to go to college, but she ended up going to Chicago and became a suffragette. She only lived into her mid-50s, but we are more than happy to celebrate her every year here in Michigan City. That's our hometown hero. So go out there and take a look at. Also, the information that was found out about Naomi Anderson is in all of the public libraries in Northwest Indiana. And that was through the Celebrating Naomi Anderson committee that was done.
Yeah.
Okay. And one more thing, I would just like to say the story of Naomi is in the kiosk at Westcott Park, which was donated by Horizon Bank shortly after this committee's inception. So thank you to them.
If you don't mind, I just want to add one more thing. I've been going to a lot of things around the state. And I know this body knows that there's going to be like ready grant money from the state that's going to help support communities. The focus right now is on arts and culture throughout the state. People think that Michigan City is booming with arts and culture, and I'm grateful for the funds that we get through the Public Art Committee. However, Michigan City is not booming with arts and culture. Michigan City needs help to bring artists to our town, to have affordable housing, to have businesses downtown. And without that creative ecosystem, it doesn't matter how many things we put around town. We really need to support the culture. And I'm telling you that every single region, the large regions, throughout Indiana are talking about this. In all the rural regions, they're talking about everything they can do to bring all the all the chamber, the council, the economic development together to help get the creative economy going. One thing that Dale talked about was about tourism. It's also, there are statistics that show that for every person who travels to see art, they spend an extra $23 over what other tourism spends. It is the future of what the economy is going to look like here. And I don't want us to fall behind. So I'm just going to say that thank you so much, but we still have more to do. Okay.
So we briefly touched on Otocast, which is a self-guided art tour. I left some business cards up here. You can simply scan a QR code and it will take you on your own tour of the artwork in Michigan City, and you can hear the artists actually speak about their artwork and what it means to them. So that's a really cool thing. Next slide, please. This year we contracted with Joyride, and we did advertising on the backs of their carts that you can see right there. That was very successful in the first year, and Otocast actually tracks how many people hit on each artwork piece in Michigan City and how many people actually listen to the audio. So this advertising increased the visits to our sculptures by 107% and 73% for our audio recordings. So I think those statistics say that was a very good investment in marketing. And we're going to wrap it up.
Are there,
Yay. So, in 2025, over $1.6 million of art was displayed in Michigan City, public art. That means art on Michigan City-owned public property. That's what the Public Art Committee does. It's our job to create art on Michigan City public-owned property. We have 2025 goals that we are currently formulating our 2026 goals. But our primary goal, and a goal that's been on this committee since it was formed, it was in the initial document, was to develop a percent for art program through construction projects. This is what is a common element of art programs throughout the United States. And it's something that's happening in other communities in Indiana, and something that we seriously are asking the council to work with us, to work with our city planners, to develop a percent for art program so that we can truly expand our art identity of Michigan City. We certainly want to grant more children's scholarships and then bring more art into our neighborhoods. Thank you. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for your support.
are there any comments from the council? Any comments or questions?
Yeah, Madam President.
Councilman?
Yeah, I just want to thank the committee members that are here this evening for all their professionalism, creativity, and what they're making good in Michigan City with the art. And I want to thank Shannon and President Matt Kubik for your leadership and coordination leading us through for this year. But thank you for all your hard work and effort. And I think Michigan City is looking better every day with the help from the Arts Committee. Thank you.
You do a good job too.
Council?
Yeah, you do a good job too. It's Michigan City's 190th anniversary, 2026. So we hope to be bringing some special things to you this year through our Sculpt Fusion program and other programs.
Councilwoman
Right.
Goldenhour?
Thank you, Madam President. First of all, thank you for giving and celebrating Naomi Anderson a whole slide this year. And it's so timely because it's Black History Month. So it was perfect. And Dale, it was so delightful to work with you on the project team. And I also want to recognize my co-chair, who's Bonnie Schaff. Without her and her digging into the history and working with Joe Coates at the Purdue Northwest University Archives, we would not have the websites that we now have. So anybody can pull it up and learn all about her very easily. Janet, thank you for hitting hard on the stimulation of the economy. At the end, Matt, you should be talking about this every single time that you mention art. It stimulates the economy because so many people in our community in the business and industry, they relate to stimulating money. And this is one way to sell the arts to people that may not have an affinity for them. And one thing I didn't hear at all is it reduces crime. So that's another very important aspect to realize about public art, that it does help in that particular endeavor. And I know we're all committed to that. So thank you so very much. You're absolutely one of my most favorite committees. And I'm so sorry that Don has had the seat for so long, because I very enviously look at him at the end of the dais from time to time. But I'm a very strong supporter of the arts, and I realize the enrichment that it brings to the children and adults in our community. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. Keep on keeping on. Thank you.
Councilwoman Lee?
Thank you, Madam President. Thank you for the wonderful presentation and for everything that you bring to our community. You all bring such joy and light to the community, both as like individual humans, but also as a committee. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Are there any other reports from boards and commissions? Any other reports from boards and Councilman Prisbalinski? Councilwoman Moldenauer?
Thank you, Madam President. Very brief announcement from the Sustainability Commission, who is a co-sponsor of Northwest Indiana Green Drinks, along with Save the Dunes. This Thursday, which is I didn't write the date down, but anyhow, Thursday, February something, is our monthly Northwest Indiana Green Drinks. This time the topic is becoming an environmental champion, how to influence your elected officials. And even though our guest presenters will be focusing on the environment, they'll be sharing various tools and techniques that can be used by anybody who wants to influence their elected officials. Our inspiring presenters will come from Indiana Conservation Voters and Save the Dunes. So please join us. We'll be streaming live on Save the Dunes Facebook Live, or you can get the Zoom link from that stands for Emily, EM, at savedunes.org. Thank you, and hope to see you Thursday.
Any other reports from boards and commissions? If there are none, do we have any reports of special or select committees? Any reports of special or select committees? Any reports of special or select committees? There are none at this time. Reports from mayor or other city officers and departments.
Good evening, Council.
Good evening.
Fire Chief Barrett Taylor. I believe you guys got this emailed to you today, our data report and all the information, so I'll go over it real quick. So if anybody has any questions. So for the month of January, we had 3 fire, 17 hazardous situations, which could be anything from gas leaks to fuel spills, anything like that, hazardous condition, but it's not a fire. 287 medical calls, 28 public service calls, which could be somebody stuck in an elevator to a cat in a tree. And then we had non-emergencies, false alarms, good intents, canceled en route. We have 54 of those, and 1 where we helped PD. I'm not exactly sure what that was, but we did assist the police. Narcan we used 3 times on those medical calls, and our breakdown is for that breakdown we had 390 total calls for the month of January, which is 6 less than what we had last year in January, which was 396. So And that's pretty much it. It's been a pretty boring month, really. So, but if anybody's got any questions,
I just have one for you, Chief, and that is as far as the fire hydrant goes, and I know we haven't had that much of accumulation of snow, but as far as keeping around the fire hydrants free from the snow and ice, that's been successful thus far. Haven't had any issues.
I haven't had anybody say anything, and everything seems to be good to go on that end. If we see any problems, we will take care of it. I only have one issue. Somebody did stop in when I was shoveling snow the other day, Saturday at the admin building, and they had an issue with a fire hydrant. It wasn't snowed in, but they had a different issue, and I got up with the water department on that. I got that handled. But other than that, that's the only fire hydrant issue I've heard of. So, anything else?
Are there any other comments from the council?
No.
Nope, there are that.
No. Good.
Councilwoman Lee.
I would like to send my condolences to the fire department and the Fire Merit Commission for the loss of one of the Fire Merit Commission members, Steve Garner.
Yeah, thank you. The fire department appreciates that, and I'm sure his family does as well. Yeah, he's only been retired just less than 5 years. As we know, cancer is we have a higher rate of cancer in the fire department. I'm trying to work on some things. Got a phone call in. I'm wanting to see if we can do some things where we can get some other screenings involved with our yearly physicals that we normally do. We've done it before. There was a little issue that we had, but I want to try to get that on a pretty regular basis. Because we have another retiree that has found out that he had cancer, and the way that was actually detected was the physicals we do every year. He had a stack of previous, all the info, all the numbers and stuff from several years back, and he took that to his doctor, and they noticed something in there with the numbers. So they're like, well, we're going to send you to get checked out. And sure enough, it found out that he actually has cancer, but they've caught it early enough, so he's got a really good prognosis on that. As far as outcomes, survivability, all that. So we found that, and there's other stories like that, other departments. So we find it quite beneficial to have these physicals every year, and then we would like I said, like to add in the cancer screenings. Cost wise, it's not that much, and just for peace of mind, it's well worth it. So, anything else?
That's all from the council. That is all. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
Taylor.
Good evening, Council. Steve Forger, Chief of Police, Michigan City Police Department.
Good evening.
Again, emailed the report to you guys earlier this afternoon, so hopefully you've got that, had a chance to review it. Again, total calls for service for the month of January were 3,475, which was a 17% increase from December. We responded to 45 disturbances. Again, we saw that number, that number was down from December, down 19. Total reports taken, so actually pen to paper there. For the month, we took 309 reports, which was up 30% from December. Shots fired calls was plus 12. So again, 6 of those where evidence was collected, a suspect was established. 4 of those in Ward 1. Ward 2 was 3. Ward 3 had 6. Ward 4 had 9. Ward 5 had 7, and Ward 6 had 2 of those calls for service. In total arrests for the month of January was 162, 15 juvenile arrests, 147 adults. Flock was tagged in 9 investigations, 3 of those for warrants, 1 accident, and 5 others. Total firearms, in the month of January, we seized 26. 2 of those were recovered stolen. And traffic stops were up 33.5% for a total of 518. And then citations issued was also up 18% for a total of 366 for the month.
Are there any comments from the council for the chief? Councilman Nelson.
How many do you have patrolling during those particular hours on third ward between like 10 and 11:30?
So between 10 and 11:30, right? So that's,
Well, when does the shift start too?
yeah, so that's a shift change, right? So 10:30 is afternoons is ending,
Mhm.
you know, and midnight is starting, right? So we're seeing a shift change there. And then patrolling, I would say, throughout the city, we have 7 cars actively patrolling our 6 districts, and then a shift commander as well. So the commander could be on station, could be on out on the street as well. So at least 7 cars patrolling on the streets.
So you said 7 cars?
Each shift.
7 cars patrolling 6 districts?
Correct.
So
we call it an A car, right? So we have 1 car assigned per district. Again, you guys go by wards. Our wards and districts don't quite line up perfectly. They're very similar.
District.
Yeah. So that's when we break these down, they're by ward. But so we have 1 car per district, and then what we call an A car, right? So that A car is essentially a floater, an assist car. It's either, you know, an officer or a street supervisor. So there's always going to be 7 on the street, and then we count the other person additional would be a shift commander. So typically we have 8 mandatory is our minimum.
Okay. Geographically, at least within my ward, these are pretty close.
Yes.
That's why I was.
So yeah, there's some areas of interest.
For sure. For sure. What's the strategy when you have uptick like that?
Yeah, you know, obviously, right, a presence is the first and foremost, right? Identifying these, you know, areas or say hotspots, right? Identifying those hotspots and, you know, the immediate, right? Simple strategies. Hey, we need more of a presence in that area, right? So again, calling out maybe traffic stops, different things, you know, targeted in that area to help just foresee a presence. And, you know, obviously there's, you know, when things are happening in a particular area, there's a reason why, right? Whether it's somebody's living in that area or moved into that area, or there's, you know, something going on that's drawing individuals to that area. So again, the first and foremost, the easiest option is an initial presence. And then obviously on the background of it, we're doing some type of investigatory, right, action as well. So.
Thank you.
Yep.
Councilwoman Moldenauer.
Thank you, Madam President. Chief, I want to thank you very much for your increased presence in the Uptown Arts District. I stopped in a business today and they said that they've had no problems whatsoever recently. So I think that we've turned the corner up in that area. I wanted you to know that.
Thank you.
Also, I want to make a public service announcement for the Michigan City Main Street Association that their van was stolen from behind Ragtops, which is part of the Shoreline Brewery properties there. And they're desperately wanting to get that back before the Shelf Ice Brew Fest, which is happening in just a couple weeks. So anybody, you know, help spread the word. Let people know that we're on the lookout for their van and for the items that are in it.
Essentially a trailer, right? A closed
trailer,
which houses a lot of their event type properties.
Yes, and they're going to need those in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So
working diligently to get it back.
Yeah, thank you for the correction. Trailer, not van.
Are there any other questions or comments from the council for the chief? If there are none, thank you, Chief Walker. Next, we have Madam Clerk. Do we have any petitions for this evening?
There are no petitions this evening.
Madam Clerk, on communications, please.
Correspondence was received in the clerk's office on January 15th from AIM inviting the council to their legislative dinner.
And Madam Clerk, our first resolution by title only.
A resolution by title only, a resolution increasing and decreasing certain appropriations within the budget of the central maintenance of General Fund 1101 for the year 2026 in Michigan City, Indiana. And this is introduced by Mr. Przewalski.
And does the sponsor have anything they would like to add?
Yes, Madam President. What I'd like to do is to read the letter that's attached to the resolution from Superintendent Garbacek. I am requesting approval to proceed with special purchase under emergency conditions pursuant to IC 522-4-10-4. I anticipate that the Board of Works will approve the purchase at its meeting on February the 2nd. contingent upon the Common Council's approval of the transfer resolution to fund this capital purchase. The 6-post lift is critical due to the ongoing emergency caused by multiple failing hoists in the shop. Hoist failures began in April and have worsened significantly, with additional failures occurring on Saturday, September 24th, Sunday, January 25th, and Monday, January 26th. Without this equipment, Central Maintenance will be unable to service plow trucks, fire trucks, transit buses, and garbage trucks, all the essential safety vehicles. As a result, these vehicles would need to be sent to outside vendors on a full-time basis, leading to extended repair times and substantial cost increases. I have obtained and attached 3 lift quotes and recommend proceeding with the lowest cost option from SLE Technologies for $83,000. This quote includes Sourcewell pricing at a reduced cost, and Sourcewell is a government agency that assists government, education, and non-for-profit entities in purchasing equipment, products, and services at discounted rates. So 2 additional alternate quotes are also attached for your reference. So with that background, I leave the presentation to Mr. Garbacik, Superintendent for the Central Maintenance Committee.
Yes, Daryl Garbacik, Superintendent, Central Services, Central Maintenance, and I couldn't have introduced it better than you just read it, Mr. Prespolinski. So certainly I could give you some more background information on some of the lifts and the problems we've had and what we've done to try and fix them. Primarily, the one that is out of business is over 30 years old, original to the building. The manufacturer is no longer in business. We cannot get parts, and the parts that we have put Band-Aids on it and got a little more use and life out of it have to come from Canada. So we're in a real trick spot, and that's why it's an emergency. And I will add that the Board of Works indeed approved it contingent on the council's approval tonight.
Okay. I would like to open this up for public comment. Are there any public comments on this resolution? Are there any public comments on this resolution? Are there any public comments on this resolution? If there are none, public comments are now closed. Comments from the council, Dr. Cora?
Motion to approve.
Support.
We have a motion and a second. Madam Clerk, on the vote, please.
Ms. Tillman?
Aye.
Mr. Beatrice?
Aye.
Mr. Coulter?
Aye.
Mr. Dabney?
Aye.
Dr. Cora? Ms. Lee?
Aye.
Ms. Molinaro?
Aye.
Mr. Nelson?
Aye.
And Mr. Prespolinski?
Aye.
We have 9 in favor and no one opposed.
Thank you. You brought joy and light to the maintenance shop. We appreciate it. And happy birthday, Councilman Dabney.
Madam Clerk, on our second resolution by title only, please.
A resolution by title only, a resolution increasing and decreasing certain appropriations within the budget of the Cemetery Extension Fund 6607 for the year 2026 in Michigan City, Indiana. And this is also introduced by Mr. Prespolinski.
And do the sponsor like to add anything to this, Mr. Prespolinski?
Yes, Madam President. Mr. Lineski invited me out to the cemetery, showed me the vehicle, and the vehicle's, let's just say it's scrap, it's in disrepair. needs to be replaced. And I can say one thing about the cemetery and Mr. Lineski, in any other position he's had with the city, he's always taking care of his equipment, top notch, perfectly. And to me, looking at that vehicle, there wasn't any abuse done to it. It's just wore out past its time. So I would greatly appreciate if all the council members approve this resolution.
Okay. Would you like to add
Yes.
anything to that?
Good evening, Jeff Lineski, Cemetery Superintendent. In 2026, the council appropriated around $73,000 out of our extension fund, which is a fund overseen by our cemetery board. We're requesting that $50,000 be transferred within that fund to accommodate the purchase of a 2026 Ford F-250. We already received 3 quotes for this vehicle. The most responsive bidder on that, or quoter on that, was Graf Ford out of Chesterton. This is a base model 2-door. It's the same model and chassis that's currently used by street department. I think fire department, police department both have plow vehicles similar to this. So that's what we're requesting to purchase. I've included pictures of the vehicle that it will be replacing. As you can see, it's the frame's rusted out, the body's starting to rot out. There's a major problem with the ABS module for the brake system. And then on the last page of the handout that I provided with the council, I provided some photos of some vehicles that will be able to transfer within our cemetery system due to this purchase. Specifically, our cemetery at Greenwood has what's called a coach vehicle, and that's the vehicle that's used to transport the casket from the chapel or the mausoleum to the gravesite. Swan Lake does not currently have one of those vehicles. We rely on our lowering device, which is a small cart that's pulled by a utility vehicle. So the purchase of this vehicle will allow us to switch some vehicles around. We have an old coach vehicle currently at Greenwood that's used by our foreman. Once the vehicles are switched around, that foreman's vehicle will be repurposed back into a coach vehicle for Swan Lake Cemetery, so we'll be able to transport caskets in a better manner than just pulling them behind a UTV. So.
I would like to open this up for public comment on this resolution. Are there any public comments on this resolution? Are there any public comments on this resolution? This will be last call for public comments on this resolution. Public comments are now closed. Are there any comments from the council?
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Madam Clerk, on the vote, please.
Mr. Beatrice?
Aye.
Mr. Coulter?
Aye.
Mr. Dabney?
Aye.
Dr. Cora?
Aye.
Ms. Lee? Aye. Ms. Molnar?
Aye.
Mr. Nelson?
Aye.
Mr. Prespolinski?
Aye.
And Ms. Tillman?
Aye.
We have 9 in favor and no one opposed.
And this resolution of increasing and decreasing the certain appropriations within the budget of the cemetery extensions funds number 6607 for the year 2026 in Michigan City, Indiana has been passed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, point of order, Madam President, just something I want to announce, basically.
Councilman Dabney.
Yes. For those who attended the boards and commissions workshop that the mayor had last week, there was discussion regarding the timing of when we could have discussion regarding different ordinances and resolutions here in the council. And it was pointed out, according to Robert's Rules of Order, like tonight, Councilman Nelson made a motion to approve, and there was a second by Councilman Prespolinski there. And we found out that there could still be discussion after that's done. I don't know if everybody had a chance to attend, didn't have a chance to count all the people that were in there, but just wanted you all to know that you're not cut out of discussion, that you can still have discussion, even though there's a motion and a second that's been approved. So like I said, I don't know who all attended and had that information, but you can still request discussion before that vote is taken.
Thank you, Councilman Dabney. Next, we have our first ordinance on second reading by title only. Madam Clerk, if you would, please.
An ordinance on second reading by title only, creating section 78-7 in the Michigan City Municipal Code to designate all Michigan City government-owned buildings and real property as smoke-free. And this is introduced by Mr. Coulter, Ms. Moldenauer, Mr. Butry, and Ms. Lee.
And does the sponsors have anything that they would like to add to this?
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair. So over the last couple of weeks, a couple people have come up with some ideas for amendments. And instead of just like throwing all those together tonight, we're planning to do a workshop. We don't have a date for that workshop, but we'd like to keep this tabled on second reading until then, so that we can get those amendments made on second reading. So I think we'd like to table it for one meeting. Cool. So until the first meeting in March.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to table this ordinance, creating section 78-7 in Michigan City of the Municipal Code to designate all Michigan City government-owned buildings and real property as smoke-free. Madam Clerk, on the vote, please.
1 second, just a point of order. I'm realizing my dates are thrown off. If we table it until the next meeting, that's the second one in February, and that's the one I'd like to table it to.
Yes.
Thank you.
Madam President, and if I could add, if I have to add something to this motion, is that we're going to call the park superintendent and the park board to join us in this workshop, because a lot of this, probably 95% of this ordinance deals with the park department. So that's the gist of why we're going to have this workshop. So do I have to add that to the tabling motion?
Madam President, if I could?
Yes.
You don't need to add that to the motion. The only question is whether to table or not. I think one of the things you're talking about is an agenda for the workshop and who would get invited and who wouldn't. And I think that's more administrative, so we can make sure we take care of that. You don't need to amend your motion to table.
Okay, still seconded.
Madam Clerk, on the vote, please.
Mr. Coulter?
Aye.
Mr. Dabney?
Aye.
Dr. Cora?
Aye.
Ms. Lee?
Aye.
Ms. Moldenauer?
Nay.
Mr. Nelson?
Nay.
Mr. Prespolinski?
Aye.
And Ms. Tillman?
Nay.
We have six.
No, you forgot Mr. Beardry.
Oh, sorry, Mr. Butry. Mr. Butry.
Aye.
We have 6 in favor and 3 opposed. It's tabled.
This ordinance has been tabled to the next council meeting. Madam Clerk, do we have any new business?
There is no new business.
Madam Clerk, do we have any unfinished business at this time?
The council has 2 appointments to the Michigan City Social Status of African American Males Commission representing the following and will expire February 15th, 2026. Michigan City Area Schools. Incumbent is Dwayne Hurt for 2 years, and we have not received anything. And the council appointment, incumbent Stacy Bennings. We are doing the vote this evening.
Thank you. So now, to all the council members, we nominated 2 individuals for council appointment to the Michigan City Social Status of African American Males Commission. Those nominations are for Danny Armstrong Jr. and Cordell Atkins. Would either of those gentlemen happen to be in attendance or online this evening? They are not. So now we will entertain a vote. And if Madam Clerk could do a roll call and the person that you nominate, so it would by majority by indicating the name, one of the two. Madam Clerk, if you would, please.
Mr. Dabney.
Yep, Danny Armstrong or Cordell Atkins.
Armstrong Jr. Neither one reached out to me, so I just take one. Armstrong Jr.
Dr. Cora,
Armstrong Jr.
Miss Lee,
Cordell Atkins.
Miss Moldenauer,
Mr. Cordell Atkins.
Mr. Nelson,
Strong.
Mr. Prespolinski,
Cordell Atkins.
Miss Tillman,
Mr. Armstrong,
Mr. Beatrice,
Yeah, you're
and Mr. Coulter.
Armstrong.
We have 6 for Mr. Armstrong and 3 for Mr. Atkins.
congratulations to Mr. Danny Armstrong Jr. You have now been officially nominated to the Michigan City Social Status of African American Males. I would also like to add on to that, please reach out to the social status chair and or secretary to obtain any materials or information pertaining to that specific board, and or you can also reach out to the city clerk.
Next, the council also has for information 1 appointment to the Michigan City Tree Board representing the Neighborhood Association, incumbent Laura Henderson, representing Elston Grove, and her term expires also on February 15th.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Next, we will open this up for comments from the public. All public comments are for 3 minutes. Please state your name and your address. Thank you.
Ernie Hallahan, 302 Gladys Street. I'm sorry, I've been vacant for a while, missing the appointments. I had knee surgery replacement. I reached out to our new representative, and the lady that spoke with me said my concerns should be vented toward Washington, D.C. So she gave me the numbers to who to call on the issues. My issue and my concern was the killing of the 2 people that ICE has done. My opinion and my opinion to those representatives in D.C. is those people should be convicted of murder. If I did something like that, I would be convicted of murder. They just let them go free. It's not fair. Not fair to the lady they killed, not fair to the gentleman they killed. The lady was just trying to get out of there. The gentleman was trying to help the lady that they knocked down on the ground. I see it all on news and TV. I see all the videos. And in my opinion, it was murder. So I expressed my opinion to all the representatives in D.C. because they are federal. And I didn't realize that. So I called federal. And everybody needs to reach out to them in D.C. and express their opinion, because evidently Trump is not going to do anything. He thinks it was fair. It was totally unfair. It was downright murder. I've been missing for quite a while, so I guess I'll leave it at that for now. On the next February meeting, I'll be back. I hope.
We're glad to have you back and see that you have had a miraculous recovery. So
thank you.
Welcome back.
It's only been a month.
Yes, sir.
Good evening. My name is Dave DeRoos. I'm from the 3rd Ward, Mr. Nelson's ward. And I come here tonight with kind of a heavy heart because what I'm about to read you, I have very much respect for our firemen and our policemen and any of our service, but I'll have to just continue with what I'm going to present to you. On September 28, 2022, at 104 McClellan, that's my house, I've lived there 25 years, I discovered $63,000 59 3/4 ounces of gold, and 1,000 ounces of silver stolen and gone from my basement by relatives. After 3.5 years in court, one F6 arrest, the perpetrator may only receive 1 year probation. He was caught with $15,000 of gold. The rest of it, they could be sitting on, who knows, I don't know. But the police, and this is where I feel bad because I've got all kinds of respect for our police and they deserve the best. But here, the police never charged another suspect who went into my granddaughter's house and staged a purse with some gold, some of the stolen gold, and took pictures. And then the next day sold it at Cache, Indiana. And these suspects were living with me. I put them up because they were living with me on the west side because I put them up because they got thrown out of their last apartment, evicted. Anyway, and they sold gold 3 times while they were living with me. Anyway, they took these pictures. When they moved from my house and it came down that I discovered I was stolen, they moved out and they showed these pictures to me and the police and said it was my granddaughter that stole the stuff. Well, the police it turned out to be false, and the police never charged the suspect for lying to them or trying to avoid the investigation off them. The police, they promised to interview 3 of my witnesses, but they never committed to a sit-down interview. And this went on. I took the witnesses down to the police station. I called them up on the phone. There would be no return calls. They wouldn't interview my witnesses. And 2 of those witnesses lived after these people left my house with these people for 5 months. They knew a lot about them. They were related also. The police made gross mistakes in both details and information in the original narrative. 4 of them, and I don't like to even say this, but 4 of them were just outright lies. It was like they believed the perpetrators. Anyway, the police would not return phone calls in a timely manner, if at all. And they would tell me they were overmanned and overwhelmed. That was one excuse. Another excuse, they told me, they said, well, we were hoping your family would give your money back. And there was other stuff. We need a video, But anyway, the police promised search warrants to look into gambling losses, that these suspects lost $40,000 in one night at Hard Rock Casino in Indiana. That's what the witnesses were saying. The police they did nothing, even after the casinos were identified. The police said they'd look into a cash trail and help me get a subpoena so that I could provide them a cash trail for the $63,000. Never did that. I put a formal complaint in, filled it out, turned it back to the police station. Never heard nothing. It got to the point where the police were making excuses for the expense. Okay.
Your time has lapsed. I would ask if you would provide the clerk with a copy of that to provide to the council, and what it is that you are seeking, possibly from the council in regards to.
I just want to make you aware because it's been going on 3.5 years. And at the beginning, they said, well, we're going to probably plea bargain this because the judge doesn't give out any jail time. And I was just like floored. I mean, somebody should get some jail. Just what they got caught with was almost $15,000 to $18,000. And plus the man had a guilty of a domestic violence that he pleaded guilty to and smoking meth while on probation.
Okay, then those are things that not only from your local law enforcement,
it doesn't do any good.
That's something you may have to need to address with your
sometimes I understand
attorney's office. Okay, we appreciate that information. Thank you. Are there any other public comments at this time?
Yeah.
Okay.
Chris Walensky, 1716 Washington Street. I have a question for the chief. Was there any report on stolen vehicles in the report? I'd like a response to that. And any other reports that from the police department that have been submitted to the city council for the last 4 years. I'm not gonna, I come here tonight to talk about two things that I think are very important. One is the gross inaction by government entities, the cities and town association of the state of Indiana, city councils, on what has happened with the rate increase and how they're charging people. Now, my bill went up 50%. So you know what that means? That means that money came out of spendable income that comes into my house. But not only that, but all the people who are receive and lie in the poverty rate. This is gross and obsessive inaction by government. And something needs to be done. You need to hire a lobbyist, and you have a great attorney in LaPorte that should have been hired to deal with this by the name of Shaw Freeman. A lot of people don't like Mr. Freeman, but he has an excellent record dealing with the utilities. Also, what I want to talk about, mention is these leases that are terrible. I work with a man, my boss, that used to sell cars, and he reviewed one of the leases. He said, "This is terrible." So I believe that your excise tax that you passed on us was tyrannical, obsessive, unjust, because I have a certification registration for a boat that my excise tax from the state is $8. The trailer is $19, and you're going to charge me more than the state. But see, the thing I'm bringing out on the excise tax, the governments of the state of Indiana need to go and take on the state on their excise tax that they're putting on us, that everybody complains about. This is oppressive government. You guys did it. You're responsible. And there will be more information brought out to you. And also, I would like to say, for the general public, that if you look at Robert's Rules of Order, 3 minutes is the exact minimum. It can be up to 5 minutes. So, you know what?
Thank you, Mr.
You can give us the extra 2 minutes.
Thank you. Are there any other public comments? Yes, sir. Yep, take your time.
Good evening. My name is Michael W. Grace. I live at 800 State Road 212, Lot S5N.
Yes.
Okay. I was on that data center project, the project Maze, and my machine flipped over 7 weeks ago. That site is the worst site I've ever been on or seen in my whole life. If John Doyle was still alive, he'd be out there shutting that job down. He was a personal friend of my dad's. And my dad was employed with John Doyle part-time. John Doyle taught me how to run job sites, and I picked up heavy equipment. from local 150, man. I'm in extreme pain, so you gotta excuse me. But it's been 7 weeks now. I haven't even got a workman's comp check or anything yet. I can't even go see a doctor, they told me today, until it's approved, and I'm just getting games. And I just want to let everybody know that that site is very dangerous out there. This shouldn't have happened to me with all my experience. And Woodruff and Sons should be out there working along with Town and Blank and Superior or Dyer Construction or GE Marshall. That job is not that complicating out there. So, I mean, it's just the fact that nobody knows what they're doing. And if the only reason why I grabbed the job is because it was 5 minutes away from my house. I was commuting to South Bend and back every day. I can't even go back to work for my old employer in South Bend. I missed out a lot of snow removal, so that's really all I have to say. I've been on the news and paper about this, so.
Well, we appreciate your comment. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Have a good evening.
You as
Thank
well.
you for hearing me out.
Are there any other public comments?
This is Tommy Kolavic from 13. Just a minute, okay.
Oh, go right ahead, Mr.
Oh, this is Tommy Kolavic from 1316 Ohio Street. I want to wish everybody a happy Black History Month. And I want to wish Councilman Bryant Dabney a happy birthday. And I got an update. The Michigan City Marquette girls basketball team defeated Couts tonight 73-19 in their first round sectional game. I want to congratulate Lania Davis. She scored her senior all-star point guard. She scored her 2,000th career point in their win against Crown Point last week. I'm sure by the time we have our next meeting, they'll have three-peated as the sectional and regional champions and getting ready to play for the semi-state. Finally, I want to mention we got a birthday coming up on Sunday. Michigan City was incorporated on February 8th, 1836. The city's got to be turning 190 years old. And I think Mayor Angie's got to do a proclamation on that. So, other than that, I just want to thank you for being the council members and mute me out. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kolavic. This is the last call for public comment. Public comments are now closed. Are there any comments from the council? Councilwoman Moldenauer?
Thank you, Madam President. I wanted to share with the council action that I've taken these last couple weeks on the utility rate increases that have happened over the past several years. This is my statement, and what I'm going to be sharing with you has nothing to do with the city council. This is no official action on their part, but this is me on my own advocating for the residents of our city. So my statement is residents shouldn't have to decide between heating or cooling their home, buying groceries, or paying for medication. And I think when people have to make those kinds of decisions, it's criminal, and we're neglecting them and their needs. So I'm going to be reading statements regarding HB House Bill 1002. This is the electric utility affordability bill, and I'm going to report to you State House movement on it. Of importance, it moved from the House to the Senate on January 29th. It's already had its first reading in the Senate Committee on Utilities on the 2nd of February. So it's moving through fairly quickly. I have worked very closely with our state representative, Randy Novak, and also Senator Rodney Pohl. I've been in direct communication with both of them over the last couple of weeks. So the information I'm sharing with you is up to date and what has actually happened. Randy wanted me to share a statement with you, and this is what he made on the House floor when the vote was taken on the bill. He said, "I'm voting in support of HB 1002. It's doing something. We need to do much more. We offered many amendments in an attempt to get some relief for residents, but they were voted down. We're continuing to fight for a resolution." So I'm hoping as it moves into the Senate, maybe they'll consider some of these resolutions that were some of these amendments that were offered in the House. Senator Rodney Pohl sent me a statement today via his aide, and it says, I've been paying attention to HB 1002 as it was moving through the House of Representatives. I was keenly focused on the amendments brought forward by the House Democratic Caucus that would provide real and direct relief now to Hoosiers. Those amendments unfortunately did not pass. Our caucus has offered several bills focused on lowering utility costs, which we look forward to bringing as amendments to improve the bill. The overall bill is a step in the right direction to helping Hoosiers, and I will continue fighting to improve it even more. And then this is what's happened with House Bill 1002. Amendment 11 to prevent consumers from paying for utility lobbying, marketing, association dues, etc., was rejected. Amendment to remove the sales tax from utility charges, like we have for groceries and medications, refused. All amendments on transparency and accountability were turned down. The bill keeps assistance from utilities for poverty-level families in place, so nothing about that changes. Yet it provides no relief for middle-income households. But each utility, not a committee assignment for consistency, but each utility will still be setting up their own program like we have now. So it's a patchwork approach. It's not consistent for all the residents in Indiana. Whoever has NIPSCO has Duke. Everybody has a different assistance program, and it's going to remain the same. New incentives-based performance means utilities would be punished for power outages, which would save consumers charges, yet rewards them for sustained service, which means consumers are paying a reward for them simply doing their job. Next point, all consumers are enrolled. Oh, this is something new. Be aware of this. All consumers are enrolled in their utilities budget program, which averages out billing to prevent spikes during hot and cold months. Right now, you have a choice of going on that program or not going on that program. If this bill passes as it is in the Senate, then everybody's going to be placed on that budget program automatically. You have the choice to opt out instead of you will be Okay, I'm sorry. This is a little confusing. Consumers have to opt out instead of voluntarily opting in like we do now, which could lead to unexpected large amounts due when renters move out of apartments, and they justify the bill. You could get slammed then instead of slammed during the hot or the cold months. And homeowners could find out they were overusing energy. And when you get a monthly bill, you can decide, I'm going to cut back or I'm going to increase the temperature in the house. You have control over what's happening with your energy usage. And you can decide to lower or raise your thermostat based on that if you're receiving true monthly charges. There will be a mechanism for you to be able to opt out, but there are very stringent dates. So we need to be aware of what those dates are if we want to opt out of that budget billing. The Indiana Utility Regulatory Commission rate hearings would be held every 3 years instead of annually like they are now. And they're hoping that this could help prevent sharp utility increases. Yet effectiveness regarding this new plan would remain to be determined over time and probably in the far rather than the near future. As of this year, the governor now appoints all 5 members of the Indiana Utility Regulatory Commission with no appointments from the public or the legislature, making it now a one-person controlled decision-making body. And this body is the one that gives permission to the utilities to increase their rates and by how much they do that. I put down here, you can actually view the House hearing on HB 1002, which I think is very educational. This handout is available up here and also out there on the table. People were asking me, what can I do? What can I do now? And there are things we can do. Since the state of Indiana controls and regulates public utilities, it's important to be in contact with your state elected officials. Since city councils and mayors have no control over what a utility charges and how rates are determined. So I've listed for you how to contact Governor Braun, Senator Rodney Pohl, and Representative Randy Novak. You can also send your concerns about utility costs and NIPSCO directly to the Indiana Utilities Regulatory Commission. Everybody calls it the IURC. With your personal experiences and others' hardship stories regarding high utility rates, and please include the dollar amounts. Let them know how much your utilities have gone up since last year or just since last month. And if you can convert those into percentages, share that with them also. I've given directions, number 1, 2, and 3, exactly how to find that site, how to sign up to get a number, and then how to log back in to actually file your concerns. For those without internet access, tell them to call the Indiana Attorney General Commissioner Protection Division. I gave you the 800 number, and tell them that NIPSCO's charging too much and what you expect them to do about it. And finally, there's a petition that's being circulated, and it's entitled Demand Indiana Reduce Utility Rates and Break NIPSCO's Monopoly. And the site, the link for that is also on this sheet. Please pick this up. I made lots of copies, many more than for the people that are here today. Pass them out to your neighbors, your friends, your groups, your organizations, whatever. The only thing that is really going to stop this is if most of the residents in Indiana are outraged enough that we contact every single person I've talked about this evening. So thank you for your support. I went down to Indianapolis 2 Mondays ago for the Red Day, which was a Renewable Energy Day, and I actually was able to meet with Randy Novak personally. And Senator Pohl was so busy with attending the hearings, he couldn't see me, but he followed up immediately after that. So I know we have 2 very strong advocates, but let them know you appreciate what they're doing and you're supportive of them. That would be extremely helpful and important to do.
Thank you. And I know some of you were looking at the clock and tapping and all of those things. But with the consent as president, that time was allotted. Reasoning being, I know that we have all received text messages, phone calls, emails in regards to this, and the information that was pertained in this letter that was read before all of us was very pertinent information to, even though these was of her words, but the consensus, I would like to think that this is something that all council members stand behind, and that if there is anything that we can do, we will do. If we need to do a resolution, even though we have done a resolution on this matter previously, we have hired a lobbyist in regards to this matter previously. So, and I just wanted to state that, council members, you still have your opportunity for your comments. Councilman Dabney, you had your light on? No, Councilman Prisbalinski.
Okay, thank you. Just a couple of things on behalf of the Human Rights Commission, this being Black History Month. In all the schools in Michigan City, the students have been invited to participate in an art and essay contest, which we do every year. And the contest will be giving away prizes for 1st, 2nd, and 3rd place, being selected in the different age groups that there are. Also, the award ceremony will be February 27th at 11:30 here in the council chambers, and it would be nice if any council members are available to come and participate in that. The children and teenagers put a lot of work and effort into it, and I think they deserve the praise for doing that. Also, want to report back. At the last council meeting, I said that I was going to be participating in a meeting with the street department superintendent and the maintenance superintendent, central maintenance superintendent, Daryl Garbacik, and a gentleman by the name of Ryan Lissick from the Drive Clean Indiana company. And we were supposed to be talking about biodiesel, but we got off of that subject, not being very productive. And we are now looking at CNG, compressed natural gas, for trucks in the street department, which would be better for the environment and better for the equipment and cheaper. So right now, central maintenance and the street department are doing work and gathering information to pass on to the consultant, Ryan Lissick. That report will then be given to the mayor, and we'll have a sit-down discussion with the mayor and see where that goes. And I also want to thank the city departments during the last big snowstorm. But to me, one of the departments that I don't feel gets enough credit, and these folks are out in the elements day in and day out, and that's the Michigan City Refuse Department. Hanging on the back of a refuse truck, 0 degrees, a snowstorm. I think they do a fantastic job. So I just wanted to give a shout out to them. And, Councilwoman Mollenauer, I applaud you for the work that you've done on this NIPSCO issue. But in my mind, this started a year ago when we were having the hearings, and the public was invited to participate in the hearings. And I've been to many of these hearings with the Indiana Regulatory Commission, IURC, and the amount of people that showed up from Michigan City, one. I was the only person that showed up at that commission, at that meeting, to talk on behalf of the city of Michigan City, because I knew when this rate increase was going to happen, Michigan City's bill was estimated to go up, let's just say, $200,000. That's what our cost is going to be. If you really want to make a big impact, now is after the fact, and we're going to try to catch up. But whenever these things are announced, these hearings, you have to take the time, the effort. The hearings are over in Valparaiso. I went to Ivy Tech, and it lasted about 2 hours. And you got the committee sitting there. Now, whether they pay attention to what you're saying or not, who knows? Because apparently they always go back to Indianapolis and vote the way they're going to vote anyway for the utility company. And that's what we are invoked in right now. So what I'm saying is, next time these hearings come up and you're going, forget that. I don't have time for that. Well, you don't have time for it then, but we all got time for it now, because now we're all raising hell about these high increases. So when those hearings come up, you got to take them serious. You got to do your part as not only a citizen, but a ratepayer, because we're the ones that are getting stuck. Agree? I agree with that. So that, and I know that, and I just want to talk about the workshop for a minute. The council workshop we're going to have coming up. And I know that there's some council members that voted against it because they might have their mind dead set on what they're believing is the right way to go. But I'm still going to encourage you to come to the workshop and hear what has been progressed, like from the park superintendent. I spoke to her today and I got her comments on it. That's why I want her to attend the workshop, get her perspective on what this means to the park department, both from a enforcement part, from a financial part, where people that would say they come and rent the senior center or rent a gazebo, what have you. Well, now, if they can't smoke, or they won't be allowed to smoke because the whole park would be smoke-free under this present ordinance. She's saying that chances are people will not rent these facilities. And she told me today that the park department had a very, very lean year last year. She didn't mention any figures, but she said they had a lean year. And with this going into effect, it may even put a bigger crunch on the park department in trying to keep people employed. So I just wanted to pass that on, at least come and hear what the business side of this has to do. And not to say that we're walking away from the public building sites and where people work at and the city employees. But yeah, that's why I thought it would be a good idea. And Dr. Cora thought it'd be a good idea to table this. And I'm glad that Councilman Coulter was gracious enough to take it to a workshop, and let's hear what's going on with the facts. Thank you very much.
Dr. Cora?
Thank you, Madam President. I just wanted to thank Councilman Moltenar for you have done a lot of work in this regard, and we have heard from our constituents how hard this has been, and I would suggest that we pass a resolution. Maybe I'll request our attorney, Mr. Jewel Harris, to draft a resolution expressing our concern and the concern of our constituents about the NIPSCO rate hikes, and then maybe we can forward it to our elected officials at the state level and also to the governor and see what they can do to address this issue. Thank you.
Councilman Dabney?
Yeah, so kind of want to piggyback first on what Councilman Prevolinski said here regarding the workshop that's coming up. I've been the liaison to the Park and Recreation Department for a while now, and this issue has come up with the Park Department before, somebody was trying to turn parks into no smoking parks and things of that sort, and it got pretty contentious. So I'm glad this is going to a workshop, get a chance for people to put their input in. I know that this has been rolling on for a long time, but there were phone calls that came in. I know someone that called every council person today, and I've received, when I told her this morning, you were the first person that called about it. And then after that, I got 3 or 4 throughout the day. So it'll be good to hear some of the people, have put their opinions in at a workshop. I think this is going to be good. Regarding NIPSCO, and I've always thought this way, every time we've had rate increase, they'll send somebody in, sit them down in one of these chairs right here in the front, and then we go and we scream and holler and we're against this, and they're just sitting there. And I'm just sitting there looking and just knowing how businesses work. That person that's usually sitting here is not the decision maker. And I've actually talked about boards of directors and people like that are the ones, they're big in terms of making decisions. So I think you might want to reach out to some of them as well to let them know the frustrations, because it always just it's funny to me when they send somebody down here as a representative and everybody just scream and holler, and they just walk away. They took the beating for NIPSCO. But I think if you reached out a little more regarding boards of directors, and then also what Don said in regards to attending that public hearing, I believe that was over in Hammond, when they only got one person there. And they're very strategic. They'll put them in places where we would have to drive many miles in order to get to these things. So it does take you really putting some effort in, kind of like the effort she put in to do some of the things that she was doing. So I hate to see it. I know my NIPSCO bill is sky high, but and it's tough. I know it's tough. I do pretty well in terms of the things that I do, in terms of money that I make and so forth. And I really feel bad for the people in our community who are not as fortunate as I. And it's just sad. So I just want to stress the sadness that I have for these things that are coming down and landing on top of the people who are the least fortunate. So I want them to know that we are listening. We care, but unfortunately, we don't make that decision. To make those rate decisions, but we can try to fight, get the information to show up and do what we can to fight on their behalf. So I think we all owe that to our constituents here in Michigan City and even people outside of the city.
Councilman Coulter?
Thank you, Madam President. I'm just going to respond to a couple of the comments that Councilman Preselinski and Dabney made. Councilman Dabney made. So there's always a part of me that wants to carve out some sort of smoking section at the beach. But then when I interrogate that feeling, I realize very unsurprisingly that it's the part of me that really wants to go bum a cigarette whenever I'm like 2 beers in anywhere. So we need to be careful when we think about the purpose of this bill is to help people quit smoking. I keep saying this, but I'm always going to say it. Half of people who use tobacco products try to quit every year. So helping those people with the best of the support that we can give them is a huge priority of mine. So with the question of the park department possibly losing revenue because of this ordinance, the idea of carving out smoking sections at the beach or leaving the golf course as a space that people can smoke, I can accept that other people have different opinions from me. But when it comes to things like a wedding venue, like the Senior Center or Krieger Memorial Hall, nobody checks that you can smoke or not before you go to a wedding. I've never not gone to a wedding because it was going to be some sort of smoky event. But in my mind, if I were to try to schedule an event and it was a priority of mine to spend that money somewhere where I knew I could smoke cigarettes, I'm not going to do it at Krieger Hall or the Senior Center. I'm going to do it at the casino or somewhere else that you can smoke inside. They're going to do it at a VFW or somewhere else like that. So we are not losing money by having smoke-free facilities like the Senior Center or Krieger Memorial Hall. No one is booking a wedding based off of whether or not you can smoke. And if they are, they're going to smoke at a VFW or something. You know what I mean? They would smoke inside at that wedding, and that would be the choice that they're trying to make, not whether or not they have to go outside to smoke in the parking lot or something like that. Nobody's making choices about where they're hosting an event based off of if they can smoke outside or not. I hope that clarifies my opinion on that. And I look forward to this workshop. Thank you.
Are there any other comments from the council? If there are no other comments, may I entertain a motion to adjourn?
So
Thank you, and all have a good evening.